This is the biggest LEGO set ever released. It has over 10,000 pieces and it takes days just to put it together. This LEGO set is easily one of the hardest sets to build, so let me show you one of the easiest. This is the LEGO Lightning Brick, and yup, it's literally only one piece. It was released back in 1980 for less than $1. Even though it's only one piece, this set is still pretty cool, and it's because this piece isn't your typical LEGO brick. It actually lights up with the power of 4.5 volts. Bricks like these aren't used very often, so not only does this set not require any building, but it looks super cool too. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let me show you a real level 1 LEGO set. And yes, this one actually has to be built. This is the Manta Warrior LEGO set from the LEGO Atlantis theme, and coming in at just 13 pieces, it's one of the smallest LEGO sets ever. And keep in mind that roughly half of these pieces make up the Manta Warrior minifigure, so there's barely any building involved at all. The LEGO Atlantis theme is based on the lost city of Atlantis, which is a city that's rumored to be hidden somewhere underwater. So as a result, the little structure that comes in this set uses a seaweed piece. Other than that, there's literally nothing else going on here. So let's move on to something a little bigger. This is the LEGO Knight set, and it just barely has more pieces than the Manta Warrior set, coming in at 21. Since this set is part of the LEGO Castle theme though, it's actually a little famous. It retailed for $349 back in 2008, and these days, it can sell for as much as $80 if it's in the original box. Needless to say, even if LEGO sets have a super small amount of pieces, people will still want them just as much as something like the Titanic. And to be honest, people might even want them more. Small LEGO sets like this are part of why LEGO has done so well up until this point. So there are definitely a lot of people out there who love miniature sets like this one. Speaking of miniature sets, this next one is actually a micro build of a super famous set from the LEGO Star Wars theme. This is the Slave One Micro Fighter, and at 85 pieces, it's definitely a couple steps up from the Knight set. This Micro Fighter's counterpart is decently big, coming in at 1,996 pieces, but that's a little above our pay grade at the moment. So let's stick to the Micro Fighter for now. Obviously, this set comes with a micro version of Boba Fett's ship, but it also comes with a Boba Fett minifigure. Oh, and did I mention that it's actually available right now? You can pick this thing up on the LEGO website or any other store that sells LEGO sets for just 10 bucks, which is honestly a steal. We all know how expensive LEGO can get these days, so this is a nice refresher. Moving on from that though, there's another set I want to show you that's at a similar build level. This is the LEGO Spider-Man motorcycle chase, featuring Doc Ock, and believe it or not, it actually has less pieces than the Slave One Micro Fighter. It only has 77 pieces, but it kind of looks like it has more than that, doesn't it? The set features this crazy Spider-Man themed motorcycle, a street light, and a lot of random objects. There's a couple diamonds, dynamite, some garbage, and a few other things too. But the superstars here are the minifigures. This Doc Ock minifigure looks insane, having half Venom on one side and half Doc Ock on the other. And of course, Spider-Man is looking as good as ever. There's one detail here though that completely separates this set from the Micro Fighter from before. Spider-Man's motorcycle can shoot little white duds on both sides, which is super sick. Overall, this set is just great, and even better is the fact that it's only 10 bucks. So if you like it, go get yourself one. Let's move away from vehicles and minifigures for a minute though. This is the Sonic the Hedgehog set from the Brickheads theme. It has 139 pieces to its name, and even though that's more than the motorcycle chase set, they're actually the same price. Yup, this guy is just $10. So if you're a Sonic the Hedgehog fan and are looking to add to your collection, this is perfect for you. I mean, come on, he looks just like him. Okay, I think it's pretty obvious that not much can be said about any LEGO set from the Brickheads theme. So let's take a look at something with more character. This is the 2023 McLaren F1 race car set, a much smaller version than any of the other F1 cars that have been made into LEGO sets before. It only has 245 pieces, but this thing is absolutely insane. Not only does it look just like a real F1 car, which is pretty impressive considering the piece count, but the amount of detail here is off the charts. Most of it comes from the stickers that are all over the car, but the red taillight on the back, the McLaren logo on the driver's helmet, and the logos on the tires all add so much to the set. With all of this in mind, I think it's safe to say that this LEGO set is highly underrated. But honestly, most of the sets around this piece count are. Like, look at this retro camera LEGO set. This thing was released this year, and it only has 261 pieces to its name. It looks just like a film camera from back in the 1980s, and you can even build rolls of film too. But if you think that's cool, just take a look at the inside of the camera. LEGO made it so it looks like there's used film in the camera, which is a really cool detail. But none of that compares to what I'm about to tell you next. This set is actually a 3-in-1. So not only can you build a film camera, but you can also build a digital camcorder from the early 2000s and a retro TV. With all of these options, it's crazy to think that the set only has 261 pieces. If you thought that was cool though, check out this Japan postcard set. It's such a simple set, but it looks so good, and it isn't even that hard to build. It only has 262 pieces, so the level of difficulty is actually pretty low. The set shows off the staples of Japan. There's Mount Fuji, Fuji, a cherry blossom tree, and there's even a little Zen garden too. With such a low piece count, it's pretty surprising how much is going on in this set. But this is LEGO we're talking about. If anybody knows how to make good use of some bricks, it's them. Even though sets like the retro camera and Japan postcard are cool, it's time to kick it up a notch. This is the Mini Ariel's Castle set from the LEGO Disney theme, and it has 557 pieces to its name. These days, we're all pretty desensitized to piece counts because of sets like the Titanic, but don't underestimate the power of 557 LEGO pieces. Once it's fully built, this set stands at over 8 inches tall, 5 inches wide, and 4 inches deep. It's not the biggest set in the world, but it'll definitely catch your eye. This next set though has 75 more pieces, and it's a 3-in-1 just like the retro camera. This is the LEGO T-Rex set, and with the 626 pieces it comes with, you can build a T-Rex, a Triceratops, and a Pterodactyl. These 3-in-1 sets are honestly one of the best ideas LEGO has ever had. Being able to take apart and rebuild a LEGO set into something different is one of the most fun things ever for a dedicated LEGO builder. So the fact that you can do it with dinosaurs makes it all the more awesome. While that's all well and good, there's actually another set around the same building level that's even cooler. This is the LEGO Buckbeak set from the Harry Potter theme. Buckbeak is an animal known as a hippogriff, and once he was introduced in the Harry Potter movies, people fell in love with him instantly. The set for him has 723 pieces, and along with being able to build Buckbeak himself, you can also build a mini stone wall with some plants and a bird too. Even better than this though is that Buckbeak is actually malleable. You can move his legs, wings, and head into different positions, which makes for a really interactive and fun building experience. He isn't a 3-in-1 like the T-Rex set, but nobody can replace Buckbeak. Up next is actually another camera LEGO set, but this one has a lot more to it than the retro camera. This is the Disney Tribute camera set, and even though there are only 811 pieces for it, there is a lot going on here. For starters, there's the obvious vintage film camera with a tripod. This looks really cool all on its own, but the fact that there's a roll of film sticking out of the camera just makes it that much better. Not only that, but there are a bunch of different Disney characters on the entire roll, which is a really nice touch. Since this set is a tribute to Disney, it only makes sense to include some minifigures. It comes with Walt Disney himself, Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Dumbo, and Bambi, some of the most famous Disney characters of all time. Wait, hold on a second. There's something I missed here. On the inside of the camera, there's actually a spot for a minifigure to sit and make it look like they're controlling the camera. LEGO does love their Easter eggs. Up next is a set from the beloved LEGO Ninjago theme. This is the Temple of the Dragon Energy Core set, and coming in at 1,029 pieces, it's actually pretty big for LEGO Ninjago, although it's got nothing on the 6,000 piece city market set. With the 1,029 pieces the set comes with, you can build this sick temple, which in the show is actually really important. It reveals the locations of 3 dragon cores, all of which gives the user an unbelievable amount of power. This is definitely one of the more important sets for Ninjago when talking about the storyline, but in terms of building level, it definitely isn't the highest. So let's kick it up a notch and take a look at a set that's a bit more of a challenge. This is the LEGO Porsche 911 GT3 RS set, one of the most famous LEGO sets of the modern era. Not only is the piece count pretty high, coming in at over 2,700, but this set is from the LEGO Technic line, so some of these pieces are incredibly small and extremely difficult to put together. LEGO Technic is known for being more difficult in terms of building, so this set is definitely higher in the build level hierarchy. Some of them get absolutely ridiculous, so much in fact that LEGO even has a page on their website dedicated to LEGO Technic sets that are hard to build. I guess when LEGO really wants to, they can make some insanely difficult sets. For this next segment, I actually want to take a step back in building level. You'll see why in a minute. This is the LEGO Imperial Star Destroyer set, and if you know anything about LEGO Star Wars, you can tell that this one is way smaller than the one we're all used to. It only has 1,555 pieces, which for LEGO Star Wars is actually pretty low. Compared to sets from the Ultimate Collector series, this thing is puny. That doesn't mean it isn't cool though. This set looks just like an actual Imperial Star Destroyer from the Star Wars movies, and the minifigures that come with it are also pretty sick. But if I'm going to show you the little one, that means I have to show you the big one. This is the Ultimate Collector series Imperial Star Destroyer set, and it has 4,784 pieces to its name. In terms of build level, this set is pretty high up on the ladder, but in my opinion, that only makes the building experience more fun. Once it's all said and done, this thing is over 3 feet long, over 2 feet wide, and over a foot tall without the stand. It's absolutely massive, but if you think this is the top of the ladder, you're in for a rude awakening. This is the LEGO Ultimate Collector Series Republic Attack Cruiser set, and it has even more pieces than the Imperial Star Destroyer. If you hadn't noticed by now, both of these sets are part of the Ultimate Collector Series. This series strictly makes sets for LEGO Star Wars, and the selling point is that the sets are obnoxiously huge. Every single set in this series has a piece count in the quadruple digits. That's anywhere from 1,000 all the way up to 9,000, and the Republic Attack Cruiser is no exception. It sits right in the middle at 5,374 pieces, and is very similar in size to the Imperial Star Destroyer. Now, you might be wondering how that's possible when it has around 500 more pieces. Well, it's actually especially because with huge sets like these, LEGO doesn't just prioritize how it looks on the outside, they care about how the inside looks too. The interior of this LEGO ship has a bunch of tiny little details. With sets like these, LEGO tries as hard as they possibly can to make them as accurate as possible, and they don't skip out on the interior. Even though this set has an unimaginable amount of pieces, compared to the top of the food chain, it only has half the power. This is the LEGO Eiffel Tower set, the biggest LEGO set ever released. This set has a piece count you won't believe, sitting at over 10,000. How this is even possible is way beyond me. Like, how can a person even remotely design a LEGO set with this many pieces, let alone expect someone to build it? Well, as it usually happens, the builders prevailed, and once all 10,000 of these pieces are put together, the set stands at almost 5 feet tall. That's taller than some people I know. Needless to say, this is without a doubt one of the hardest LEGO sets to build. What was your favorite LEGO set in this video? Be sure to let me know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe.